episode of Last Ride. Let's go.
Hope y'all having an awesome day or awesome night at whatever time you're watching this. Got another good one for you here today. Got a couple of oversized boxes we're going to deliver, and we're actually going to pick up a oversized vault. These are about 36 inches wide. Not too heavy. I will tell you a story from yesterday. Uh, so here, today I'm in the flatbed truck. Yesterday I was in the flatbed truck. Yesterday I'm having to deliver a 7-gauge vault. Now, 7-gauge vault, I'll explain it like this. So, 12-gauge vaults are typically what we use most of the time. What we typically handle is 12-gauge vaults. Um, every now and again it's a 10-gauge, and every now and again it's a 7-gauge. It's kind of rare that we do 7 gauges, but it happens. So, and to educate you on the gauges of a 12 gauge, the lesser the number of gauge, the heavier it is. So a 12 gauge might weigh 400 pounds. A 7 gauge might weigh 900 pounds. That's the difference. The 10 gauge, I'm not even sure exactly roundabout. I'd say maybe 700 pounds ballpark. But anyway, so yesterday I'm having to deal with a 7-gauge vault, and I'm taking it to a relatively easy place to go to. And I've got this vault laying, it's laying flat on the back of this bed. And most of the 12 gauges, I can just shove them right off, you know. Well, this 7 gauge, I'm giving it all I got, and it's barely moving that much. So I'm pushing, and trying to get this thing off the side of this truck, and I finally get it to where that I can now pull it the rest of the way off. And as I'm pulling, I'm like, man, I'm starting to kind of doubt my abilities here. And anyway, I get it off the truck, get it stood up, and I'm taking it to this funeral home. And this funeral home has garage doors, and the guy wanted me to take it in and take it through the garage doors and just stand them up, which is typical. That's nothing unusual there. So take this thing in. Well, at the front of this garage door, oh, by the way, it's a low hanging garage door, so it's not a very tall garage door. It's tall enough for like to fit a car in, but it's not exactly tall enough for these vaults to go through, or at least not in the beginning. After you get them in, sure, but going through it, not quite. Well, so I've got a low hanging door for one. For two, this at the front of the door is these I don't know what you call them. What they're for is runoff for water. Just like you know what I'm talking about. I'll try to post a picture of it here somewhere to give you an idea. Anyway, while I'm pushing this ball to get it in through this garage door, it's not a seamless transition over this gutter. There's the asphalt is raised up above the level of this gutter. It's not everything's not flush. So I have this divot that my tires are about to go in. Well, if I push it fast enough, the vault's going to bounce and potentially hit that low-hanging portion of the door, and it's going to come down, it's going to hit me, and I'm going to be hurt. So what happens is I don't push it fast enough, and I get stuck in the gutter. The only way to get out of this gutter is to be underneath it, almost completely underneath it, and have to try to pull the wheels out to give me some kind of a leverage. Long story short, get myself out, and I'm backing up. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to hit this thing a little faster, a little harder, in order to get this thing to go, because it's super heavy. So I back up, get another run at it. Guess what? I get stuck again. Like, okay, I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice, more than twice. So I get myself out of it, and I managed to get it to where that I'm at the door. The gutter is, like I said, the gutter's kind of out from the door. Well, now I'm in the door. I'm in the portion of the door where I'm going to have to squat this 900-pound ball. I'm only 165 pounds soaking wet on a good day. So, anyway, here I am having to squat this thing on my shoulders and neck, and because I'm like sideways, right? Well, so got this thing squatted, and I'm trying to push it in the best I can, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm low enough, or I should be about low enough, because I'm starting to feel my knees wanting to give out. Well, I keep on pushing, trying to push it through, and I keep feeling the angle of the ball and the door, and I keep feeling it pushing further and further down. I'm like, I'm gonna have to keep squatting this ball. They're gonna find me crushed. I'm done. I'm done. Well, so I keep pushing through, and I'm having to kind of crab walk it through. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm in. I can start raising it up. Guess what? No, can't raise it in. There's a light there. The garage lights. You know what I'm talking about. Well, so I wound up hitting the garage light thing. I didn't break nothing. I just kind of love tapped it. It let me know that that's where it was there. I was like, oh, okay, great. I got to push this thing back down on my knees even further. So here I am, pretty much squatting this thing into the length of the entire garage. Finally get it in. I'm on the phone with a buddy of mine while I'm doing all this. At one point, I finally had to take my headset and throw it off. And I can hear him on my headset hollering my name. John, are you okay? John. And I can't, he's not going to hear me if I holler, because these are noise canceling. So if you get it within a certain distance of these, you can't hear nothing before. So that wasn't going to do any good. So I'm thinking, well, and by the way, I forgot to mention, the funeral home has a funeral in progress inside. So if something happens to me, nobody's going to know that anything's wrong. Nobody's going to hear me if I need help. This is where I'm at. But anyway, so I finally get it in, and I muster up the energy to be able to push this thing off of me. And get it in, I get it raised up. Well, after I got it raised up, I go to grab a hold of the two 12 gauges that are left on the truck. And I tell you what, after you pull and maneuvered a 7 gauge, moving a 12 gauge is like moving the metal boxes, because the metal boxes are probably about 200 pounds. They feel light as a feather, and that's what these vaults feel like. The rest of these vaults feel like. the shop. They're like, yeah, you didn't have to do that. You could have just left that 7 gauge outside. Oh, really? Man, how useful information. I appreciate that. Wished I'd have known that coming in. I'd have left that thing outside and not touched it. But, hey, we live, we learn. That's where we're at. Oh, it's that time of the week. Um, so, and I'm going to do this each and every week that I put out a video. If you leave me a comment or question in this video, in next week's video, I'll highlight your comment or question at random, and I will answer that comment or question in next week's video. So you'll see your name down here on the bottom with your comment. If you will, leave me a comment, leave me some comments or questions in this video, and I'll be happy to answer any and all comments that I most possibly can. And whichever one I highlight at completely at random, I will post it in next week's video, and I'll answer it in person. All right, sound cool? Cool. All right, y'all, that's going to do it for this week's video. Um, if you like what you see here, I ask that you please consider pressing that subscribe button and make sure to tap the little bell for so that you get your notifications every time I post a video. Again, if you all have made it this far, thank you so much. It means everything from the bottom of my heart. And I will see you all in next week's video. My name's John. Y'all are amazing. And this is The Last Ride.